Martin concludes that there cannot be any person greater than Prophet Muhammad because he had frugal means and he had a high objective and he just achieved great results. Then he says, the most famous men created arms, that is armies, laws and empires only. They founded, if anything at all, no more than material powers which often crumbled away before their eyes, whether it was Alexander the Great, Napoleon Bonaparte, or any great person. Of course, they created empires. But in most of the cases, the empires which they created, they crumbled in their own lifetime or after that. This man, Muhammad, moved not only armies, legislations, empires, peoples and dynasties, but millions of men. And more than that, he moved the altars, the gods, the religions, the ideas, the beliefs and the souls. In this way, the change which was brought about by Prophet Muhammad and the revolution which he created, it was not based on armies or legislation or lawmaking or empires. He moved the ideas, he changed the ideas, and he changed the religions, he changed the concept of God, and he changed the beliefs of men and women. Then he says, on the basis of a book, he refers to the Holy Quran, on the basis of a book, every letter of which has become law, he created a spiritual nationality which blended together peoples of every tongue and of every race. Prophet Muhammad, he was not a learned person, not even lettered person. Actually, he was illiterate, but he received the message from God. And on the basis of that God, on the basis of that message, which is in the Holy Quran, what did he do? He brought about a great revolution. And every word of that book has become a law. And nobody can change it. That's why every Muslim faithfully and devotedly, devotionally believes in every word of that, the Holy Quran. And he was successful in blending together, joining together, assembling together people of different geographical regions, people who were speaking different languages, and people who belong to different times. Then again he says, the idea of the unity of God. No, what was the idea which the Prophet presented? The idea of the unity of God, proclaimed amidst the exhaustion of fabulous theologies, was in itself such a miracle that upon its utterance from his lips, it destroyed all the ancient superstitions. Religion had become a superstitious thing. Superstitious beliefs were there, but the Prophet, he stressed the basic unity of God. He said that God alone and none else, la ilaha illallah. There is no God except God. God is the creator, God is the master, God is the nourisher, God is the sustainer, God is the helper, God is the evolver, God is the guide. He creates, he gives life, and he brings death to everything. Therefore, this was the greatest revolutionary idea which Prophet Muhammad proclaimed, and there were many fabulous theologies and ideologies which were based on fables, on stories. It was a miracle. And upon just by pronouncing that La ilaha illallah, there is no God except God, he destroyed all the ancient superstitions. Islam is based not on superstitions, but on reason and reasoning and understanding, on arguments and analysis. Then he says, who? Lamartine, the great historian of France. His endless prayers, he was always praying to God. That's why 5 times prayers have been made compulsory for every believer. his mystic conversations with God. That is the revelation which he was getting and instructions which he was continuously getting throughout his life of 23 years of prophetic mission. His death and his triumph after death. He died. He died at the age of 63. He did not claim immortality for himself. He was born as we and you are born. He spent an ordinary life. He died, and Lamartine says his death and his triumph after death. But his achievements did not end with his death, because even after his death, the message which is brought from God, it expanded. It encompassed more people, more nations, more ethnicities. All these attest not to an imposture but to a firm conviction which gave him the power to. Unfortunately, some Western people, they say that Prophet Muhammad was not a genuine person, he was an impostor. But Lamartine stresses that it does not show any imposture. It shows firm conviction which gave him the power to restore a dogma, faith. What was that faith, that essential faith of oneness of God, submission to God, sticking to God, and holding fast to the rope of God. Oneness of God, not the thousands and crores of gods and goddesses, not the false gods which human mind or human imagination or human hands create. The dogma was twofold. Firm conviction which gave him the power to restore a dogma. Dogma means faith. What was that faith? This faith was twofold. The unity of God and the immateriality of God. God is one. This was the first part. And another thing was immateriality of God. God is not something material. We are material. We are physical. God is something beyond all these things. The former telling what God is, that God is one. God is powerful. God is all-powerful, almighty. The latter telling what God is not. God is not something material. God does not come in the shape of a god or goddess. God does not give his energy to other gods and goddesses. God does not come in the shape of his son. God does not come in the shape of gods and goddesses, devis and devatas. Then he says, what was he? Please listen to these great words which Lamartine says. Philosopher. 9 things he has said. Philosopher, orator, apostle, legislator, warrior, conqueror of ideas, restorer of rational beliefs, of a cult without images, the founder of 20 terrestrial empires and of one spiritual empire, that is Muhammad. Lamartine, in very elevated words, says, what was he? He was a philosopher. He presented a philosophy of life. What is life? What is this earthly life? What is the purpose of life? What is right? What is wrong? What is good? What is evil? What is this present life and what is the everlasting life? He was a philosopher. Orator, a very great orator he was. Every word of the Holy Quran is not from his lips. It was received by him. But if you go through the Hadith literature, his teachings, that has also very great linguistic qualities. Then he was apostle, that is messenger, who brought the message. Messenger, legislator, he made laws, and those laws will last forever. Restorer of rational beliefs, of a cult without images. His message and faith is based on reasoning, not on unreasoning, not on make-believe things, not hearsay. Restorer of rational beliefs, of a cult without images. There are so many, even Christians, who are the largest community with 225 crore people, they also have images. Jesus is being worshipped. Mary, mother of Jesus, is being worshipped. She has been given the status of mother of God. And as far as India is concerned, many devout Hindus and their leaders, they claim that we have 33 crore gods and goddesses. And he says that Prophet Muhammad was restorer of rational beliefs of a cult without images, and the founder of 20 terrestrial empires, the Khulfa Rashidin, the Umayyads, the Abbasids, the Fatimids of Egypt, and the Safavis of Iran, the Mughals in India, likewise the Ottomans who started their empire in 13th century and who lasted up to 1924. He says that founder of 20 terrestrial empires the Prophet was, and of one spiritual empire. This is the greatest empire. It is everlasting empire. It will never come to an end. That is Muhammad. Then he says, as regards all standards by which human greatness may be measured, we may well ask, is there any man greater than Muhammad? You can set any standards through which you want to measure the greatness of a human being. And he claims that Prophet Muhammad was the greatest person, the greatest philosopher, greatest orator, greatest revolutionary, greatest person who restored the idea of one God, who just did away with the superstitious beliefs of religions. This is the message of Prophet Muhammad, and we, the humble servants of Jamaat Islami in your state, your very dear and very good state of good people of Telangana, we have launched a program for about 2 weeks, and in this we are presenting the message of Prophet Muhammad. Please cooperate with us. Please open your eyes and the ears and the doors of your heart, understand it, and help us in promoting this message. Come, let us join hands and promote good and just suppress evil and promote humanity. Thank you very much. Ya Allah.